Ladies and gentlemen, success is not about where you come from. It's not about luck. It's not about talent alone. It's about mindset. There are two kinds of people in this world: those who believe they are stuck with what they've got, and those who believe they can grow into something greater. One is trapped. The other, unstoppable. The secret to success isn't hidden in some book you haven't read yet, some class you didn't take, or some opportunity you never got. No, the secret is inside you. It's your mindset. And the question is, do you have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? A fixed mindset whispers lies in your ear. It says you either have it or you don't. If it's hard, it means you're not meant for it. If you fail, it means you should quit. That mindset will keep you small. It will tell you that struggle is a sign to stop, when in reality, struggle is a sign to push forward. People with a fixed mindset avoid challenges because they don't want to look bad. They fear failure, so they never take the shot. They take criticism as an attack instead of an opportunity to improve. And when they see others succeed, instead of being inspired, they feel threatened. That's not the mindset of a champion. Now, let me tell you about the other kind of person, the one with a growth mindset. This person knows that talent is just a starting point. That effort, learning, and perseverance determine how far they'll go. A growth mindset says, I may not be the best yet, but I'm getting better every day. People with a growth mindset run toward challenges, not away from them. They understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success. They take criticism, use it, and improve. When they see others winning, they don't feel threatened, they feel motivated. And let me tell you something, every successful person you admire, every champion, every innovator, every leader, they all have a growth mindset. The good news, mindset is a choice. You don't have to stay stuck. You can rewire your brain. You can train yourself to embrace challenges instead of fearing them. You can learn to see effort as the path, not the problem. You can take every failure, every setback, every no, and turn it into fuel. Mindset is the foundation of success, the unseen force that shapes every decision, action, and outcome. It is not merely about intelligence, skill, or talent, but about how a person perceives their own abilities and potential. Two people can have the same resources, the same opportunities, and yet achieve completely different results simply because of the way they think. A person with a strong, growth-oriented mindset sees obstacles as opportunities, failures as lessons, and effort as the path to mastery. They don't believe success is a matter of luck or natural ability. Instead, they understand that success is built through perseverance, adaptability, and continuous learning. They embrace the idea that they can improve, develop new skills, and push past limitations through hard work and dedication. On the other hand, a fixed mindset holds people back. It convinces them that their abilities are set in stone, that intelligence and talent are predetermined, and that failure is a sign they are not good enough. When faced with a challenge, someone with a fixed mindset may avoid it altogether, fearing embarrassment or disappointment. They may compare themselves to others and feel discouraged instead of inspired. This kind of thinking limits potential because it discourages the very actions that lead to growth, effort, risk-taking, and resilience. What separates those who succeed from those who don't is not just talent, but the belief in growth. The world's greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, and innovators did not start at the top. They were not born with all the answers, nor were they free from failure. They simply refused to let challenges define them. They understood that every setback was an opportunity to learn. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. These people had one thing in common: they refused to be limited by circumstances, criticism, or failure. A strong mindset doesn't just apply to personal goals. It affects every area of life: relationships, careers, health, and happiness. A person who believes in growth will seek solutions instead of excuses. They will look at challenges as chances to become better. When things don't go as planned, they won't give up, they will adjust and try again. This kind of thinking leads to confidence, resilience, and ultimately success. The power of mindset is that it puts control back in our hands. It reminds us that success is not determined by where we start, but by how willing we are to keep going. Every person has the ability to cultivate a mindset that drives them forward, but it requires awareness and effort. The way we speak to ourselves, the way we interpret setbacks, and the way we approach challenges all shape our future. Success is not reserved for a select few. It belongs to those who believe in their ability to grow, adapt, and push beyond their limits. A fixed mindset is one of the biggest obstacles to growth and success. It is the belief that intelligence, talent, and abilities are set in stone, that a person is either born with certain gifts or without them, and that no amount of effort can change that. This way of thinking creates invisible barriers that hold people back from reaching their full potential. Instead of seeing challenges as opportunities to learn and improve, those with a fixed mindset see them as threats to their self-worth. They fear failure because they believe it defines them, rather than understanding that failure is simply a part of the learning process. When someone has a fixed mindset, they tend to avoid situations where they might struggle or fail. They stick to what they already know, staying in their comfort zone instead of pushing themselves to grow. If something feels too difficult, they assume they are not meant for it, rather than seeing it as an opportunity to develop new skills. This mindset keeps people stagnant, preventing them from taking risks or exploring new possibilities. They become trapped in a cycle of self-doubt, afraid to challenge themselves because they believe their abilities are already predetermined. People with a fixed mindset often compare themselves to others, feeling either superior or inferior based on natural talent rather than effort. When they see someone excel at something, instead of being inspired, they feel threatened. They assume that the other person was simply born with it and that they could never reach that level. This discourages them from even trying, leading to a self-fulfilling prophecy where they remain stuck in the same place, never progressing because they never take the necessary steps to grow. Criticism is another major challenge for those with a fixed mindset. Instead of viewing feedback as a tool for improvement, they take it personally. They see constructive criticism as an attack on their intelligence or abilities rather than an opportunity to get better. This makes it difficult for them to learn from their mistakes, as they are more focused on protecting their ego than on developing new skills. Over time, this resistance to feedback limits their ability to improve, making it harder for them to adapt and succeed in different areas of life. A fixed mindset also affects motivation. When someone believes that their abilities are fixed, they may not see the point in putting in extra effort. They assume that if they are not naturally good at something, they will never be, so they stop trying. This leads to a lack of persistence, as they give up easily when things become difficult. Instead of pushing through obstacles, they walk away, convincing themselves that they were never meant to succeed in the first place. This pattern can prevent them from achieving their goals, not because they lack ability, but because they have already decided that success is out of their reach. In relationships, careers, and personal development, a fixed mindset creates limitations that prevent growth. It causes people to play small, avoid risks, and settle for less than they are capable of achieving. The fear of failure, the resistance to feedback, and the belief that abilities are unchangeable keep them from unlocking their true potential. A growth mindset is the key that unlocks potential, pushing people beyond their perceived limits and into a world of continuous progress. It is the belief that abilities, intelligence, and talents are not fixed traits, but can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. People with a growth mindset do not see challenges as barriers, they see them as opportunities to improve. Every obstacle becomes a lesson, every failure a stepping stone, and every setback a chance to come back stronger. This mindset fuels success because it removes limitations and replaces them with possibilities. One of the most powerful aspects of a growth mindset is the way it transforms failure. Instead of viewing failure as proof of inadequacy, those with a growth mindset see it as a necessary part of the journey. They understand that failure does not mean they lack intelligence or talent. It simply means they have room to grow. This perspective allows them to take risks, step outside their comfort zones, and keep pushing forward even when things get tough. While others may give up at the first sign of struggle, those with a growth mindset persist, knowing that mastery is a process, not an instant achievement. Effort is another defining characteristic of a growth mindset. People who embrace this way of thinking do not rely solely on talent or natural ability. They recognize that hard work, practice, and dedication are the real drivers of success. Instead of seeking shortcuts, they focus on continuous improvement. They welcome challenges because they know that struggle leads to strength. When they encounter difficulties, they do not see them as reasons to quit, but as opportunities to develop new skills and refine their approach. Criticism is not something they fear, it is something they value. Instead of taking feedback personally, they see it as a tool for improvement. They actively seek out constructive criticism, using it to identify weaknesses and make adjustments. Rather than becoming defensive or discouraged, they embrace the chance to learn and grow. This ability to accept and apply feedback gives them a significant advantage in personal and professional growth. It allows them to adapt, improve, and consistently move closer to their goals. A growth mindset also influences how people view the success of others. Instead of feeling threatened by someone else's achievements, they feel inspired. They see proof that success is possible. And rather than comparing themselves negatively, they study what successful people do and apply those lessons to their own journey. They understand that talent is not something people are simply born with, it is developed over time. This realization keeps them motivated, hungry for progress, and open to new possibilities. In every aspect of life, from careers to relationships to personal development, A growth mindset creates the foundation for long-term success. It pushes people to embrace challenges, persist through difficulties, and believe in their ability to improve. It fuels ambition, builds resilience, and turns dreams into reality by reinforcing the idea that there is no limit to what can be achieved through continuous effort and learning. Failure is an inevitable part of any journey toward success. It is not a sign of weakness or inability, but rather a necessary step in growth and achievement. Every great innovator, leader, and champion has encountered failure at some point, yet it did not define them, it refined them. Those who understand this truth do not fear failure, they embrace it as a teacher, a guide, and a stepping stone toward improvement. Without failure, there is no learning, no progress, and no real success. When people fail, they often feel discouraged, as if their efforts have been wasted. But the truth is, failure is never wasted unless it is ignored. Every setback carries a lesson, an opportunity to understand what went wrong and how to do better next time. The most successful individuals are those who take these lessons to heart, analyze their mistakes, and adjust their strategies. They do not allow failure to break them. Instead, they use it as fuel to push harder, smarter, and with greater determination. Many people give up too soon because they view failure as the end of the road rather than a bend in the path. They assume that one failed attempt means they are not capable, not talented, or not meant for success. But failure is not a verdict, it is a process. It is the refining fire that strengthens character, builds resilience, and teaches perseverance. Without failure, there would be no growth, and without growth, success would have no meaning. History is filled with examples of individuals who turned failure into triumph. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Yet he famously stated that he had not failed, he had simply found 1,000 ways that did not work. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school team. Oprah Winfrey was told she was unfit for television. J.K. Rowling was rejected by multiple publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. These stories all share one common thread: persistence in the face of failure. Failure also teaches adaptability. When something does not work, it forces a person to rethink their approach, to become creative, and to explore new possibilities. Without failure, people would remain stagnant, believing that there is only one way to achieve their goals. But failure reveals that there are always alternatives, always new strategies to try, and always more to learn. It is through trial and error that people discover their true strengths and develop the skills necessary to overcome obstacles. The way a person responds to failure determines their ultimate success. Those who see it as a dead end will remain stuck, but those who see it as a lesson will continue moving forward. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of it. It is the experience that sharpens, the struggle that strengthens, and the challenge that prepares individuals for the success that lies ahead. Without failure, success would not be nearly as meaningful or rewarding. Mindset is not something people are born with, it is something they choose every single day. It is the lens through which they view challenges, setbacks, and opportunities. Some people believe their intelligence, abilities, and talents are fixed, while others understand that growth is always possible. This fundamental difference in perspective determines success, resilience, and overall satisfaction in life. No one is forced to remain stuck in a negative or limiting mindset. Everyone has the power to shift their thinking, but that power lies in choice. Every day, people make small decisions that shape their mindset. They decide whether to see obstacles as barriers or as opportunities to grow. They choose whether to take failure personally or to view it as a lesson. They determine whether to accept criticism as an attack or as a tool for self-improvement. These choices, though small, add up over time and create the foundation for either a fixed mindset that limits growth or a growth mindset that fuels success. The difference between those who achieve their goals and those who do not is not always talent or intelligence. It is often the mindset they have chosen to adopt. There are countless stories of individuals who refuse to let circumstances define them. People from all walks of life have overcome extreme difficulties because they chose to believe in their ability to grow. They did not allow their past, their failures, or other people's opinions to dictate their future. They made a conscious decision to push forward, to learn, and to improve, no matter how many times they fell. This choice to adopt a mindset of growth, resilience, and determination is what separates those who rise from those who remain stuck. Some may argue that circumstances play a role in shaping a person's mindset, and while that is true, it does not mean mindset is out of their control. Yes, past experiences, upbringing, and environment influence how people think, but they do not determine it permanently. At any moment, a person can decide to reframe their thoughts, challenge their beliefs, and develop a mindset that serves them rather than holds them back. This process takes effort and awareness, but it is always possible. The mind is adaptable, capable of change, and open to new ways of thinking when given the chance. A person's mindset influences everything from how they approach their goals to how they handle criticism and failure. It affects their level of persistence, their willingness to take risks, and their ability to stay motivated in the face of adversity. The best part is that this is not something reserved for a select few. Anyone can make the choice to develop a stronger, more resilient mindset. It starts with a decision to think differently, to embrace challenges rather than avoid them, and to believe in the power of growth. The greatest transformations happen not because of luck or talent, but because of a simple yet powerful choice to see oneself as capable of becoming more, learning more, and achieving more. Greatness is never given, it is built through continuous growth, effort, and resilience. No one is born great, and no one reaches the highest levels of success by staying the same. Growth is the foundation of greatness, shaping individuals into stronger, wiser, and more capable versions of themselves. Those who achieve greatness understand that they must constantly evolve, adapt, and push beyond their limits. They do not settle for what they already know or what they have already achieved. Instead, they commit to lifelong learning, self-improvement, and the pursuit of something greater. The journey to greatness is filled with challenges, failures, and obstacles. Who refuse to grow will struggle to overcome these barriers because they remain stuck in old ways of thinking and outdated skills. The world is constantly changing, and those who want to achieve true success must be willing to change with it. Growth requires stepping outside of comfort zones, embracing uncertainty, and taking on challenges that feel overwhelming. It demands persistence in the face of failure and the willingness to learn from mistakes rather than be defeated by them. Without growth, progress stops, and without progress, greatness remains out of reach. People who achieve extraordinary things in life do so because they are committed to getting better every single day. They understand that no skill, talent, or strength is ever fully developed. There is always room to improve. They study, practice, and refine their abilities, never allowing themselves to become complacent. The greatest athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, and leaders did not reach their positions by luck or natural ability alone. They made a decision to grow, to push themselves beyond what they thought was possible, and to never stop striving for more. Growth also requires the ability to accept and apply feedback. Those who are unwilling to listen, learn, and adapt will find themselves stuck in the same place, unable to break through to higher levels of success. Greatness is not about knowing everything. It is about being willing to learn from those who have walked the path before, to take criticism constructively, and to continuously refine skills and strategies. Every setback provides an opportunity to grow stronger, and every mistake is a lesson that brings a person closer to mastery. True greatness is not measured by a single moment of success, but by the ability to sustain excellence over time. This is only possible through continuous growth. The greatest people in any field never stop learning, never stop working, and never stop improving. They understand that greatness is not an endpoint. It is a process, a journey of constant development. Growth is what turns potential into reality, what transforms dreams into achievements, and what separates those who merely wish for success from those who actually attain it. The pursuit of greatness is the pursuit of growth, and those who embrace this mindset will always find themselves moving forward, evolving, and reaching new heights they never imagined possible.